Thank you. I'm delighted to be here today. And I'll begin with two familiar images. The first is a video still of a Uyghur or possibly Kazakh prisoners being moved by rail. Now, we don't know what happened to these men, yet starting in 2016, Uyghur and Kazakh refugees have described sporadic mass executions. For example, a bunch of prisoners are being bused to Shanghai. When they cross the provincial boundary line, the PSB leads the prisoners out and shoots them all in an open field. Now, we don't know the motive for these killings. But we do know the mass executions are associated with disposal problems. Mass killings overwhelming a crematorium facility within a matter of hours. Local crematoriums acknowledge burning bodies from the camps, et cetera, et cetera. Now, disposal systems can be critical evidence. For example, the only Wuhan COVID death toll estimate with any real reliability comes from counting the sale of funeral urns. Beijing is aware of this vulnerability. Since 2018, Uyghur cemeteries have been routinely bulldozed like this one. Clearly, it's an attack on Muslim cultural traditions, yet it also eliminates family DNA permanently. Now, 3 years ago, Gulchera Hoja of Radio Free Asia discovered that local authorities had put out a directive in 2017. Construct 9 new crematoriums across Xinjiang/East Turkestan. Now, Urumqi was the first one, and an ad appeared in the Chinese language press to fill 50 security guard positions at an unheard of salary of $1,200 US per month. Now, in 2020, a camp refugee in Norway took a virtual tour of a camp he recognized in Aksu Prefecture. Ms. Hoja at RFA, using the Wayback Machine, established that the camp was built around an already existing and still functional institution, the Aksu Infection Hospital. That's outlined in red on your screen. In fact, all the elements of organ harvesting, a hospital, 2 camps, and a crematorium come together in a single square kilometer. Now, to the left, the West Camp contains 16,000 people. To the right, the East Camp contains 33,000 people, and the Aksu Infection Hospital. Forming the northern part of the triangle, 900 meters from both camps, is a large crematorium. Now, let's take a closer look at that crematorium. There are no visible smokestacks, yet David Campanelli of the BBC pointed out to me recently that a rotary kiln incinerator is a low emission system. Yet we also see 2 distinct lines joining the crematorium in the middle of the building, going east-west. These could be walls, but they more closely resemble pipes. You can make up your own mind about that. Now that means that the crematorium may be using a water-based system, alkaline hydrolysis. Pump fresh water in, mix with potash, heat the chamber to approximately 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Fats, hair, and bones break down, and the effluent can be drained into a leach field or simply pumped back into the Aksu River, which is 400 meters away. Now, I've just mentioned that I recently had some research done on this, and there are, in fact, chemical plants and places where one could get the chemicals for these sorts of operations very quickly. In fact, they're a 2-minute drive from the crematorium. Now, but from Aksu Infection Hospital, where presumably organs are removed, it's a short drive to Aksu Airport with a special fast lane for human organs, about 20 minutes if you speed a little. Although China Southern Airlines confirms that human organs are transported via the Aksu Green Passage, they don't provide a photo, but here is a Green Passage photo from Kashgar Airport instead. Now, from Aksu Airport, there could be several end users. Here's my prime suspect. A hospital of Zhejiang province has a formal big brother relationship with Aksu's doctors and medical apparatus, and it's one of China's 10 certified ECMO training centers. In 2017, liver transplants increased by 90%. Kidney transplants went up by 200%. On March 1st, 2020, First Hospital successfully performed the first double lung transplant on a COVID patient. Essentially, this was an advertisement for foreign organ tourists that even during the pandemic, First Hospital was open for business. And to conclude, we found one of the crematoriums, this one, with housing, medical, and transport infrastructure for the live organ harvesting of Uyghurs and possibly Falun Gong. Actually, we know that some Falun Gong are in the camps in Sin-ťiang, East Turkestan, but also Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and Hui. Now, we'd like to collect all 9 crematoriums, and we're working on that. I'll just mention that my investigation in Kazakhstan in 2020, just before the lockdown, involved extensive interviews with camp refugees, and here's my preliminary conclusion. At a minimum, 25,000 Uyghurs, average age 28 years old, are taken from the camps to be harvested every year. About 68 people a day. From the higher range of my witness statements, doubles that number, 50,000 per year, about 136 a day. Now, that's using very low numbers. That's assuming there's only 1 million in the camps. We can say this, the party's strategy regarding the Uyghurs is a troika of forced labor, lowered Uyghur fertility, and organ harvesting. And I've called this combination maintenance genocide. It is preserving an option to go further. And I've assumed that the party's intentions run something along these lines. We will assimilate Uyghurs if we can. We will kill them if we must. Yet, what if that's only under conditions of consistent Western pressure, political pressure? Well, the fact is, a crematorium like the one you've just seen can support 50 security guards, can process 136 bodies a day without breaking a sweat. And it is this excess capacity of 9 industrial scale crematoriums that should make us all wonder if the party's true intentions are closer to this statement. We will assimilate Uyghurs if we must. We will kill them if we can. And I'll end there, and thank you again for this opportunity.